Good morning, Sima. In Alabama, at the time that Rosa Parks would have been taking the bus, she would have waited in a room just like this one. And notice it's separated into two sections. And as we step out in Montgomery, Alabama, they had two entrances and two waiting rooms, one designated as the white waiting room, the other as the colored waiting room, just to sort of set the scene of the world that Rosa Parks was living in at the time that she took the stand on the bus. This bus, by the way, this is the very same bus that Rosa Parks took that stand in Montgomery, Alabama. It is now here in Detroit, a permanent part of the exhibit. And Rosa Parks herself moved to Detroit and spent a lot of her life here. This is such a historically significant bus for so many reasons. Cynthia Jones, talk to me. Rosa Parks made such an impact.
You know, I love Rosa's story because it really speaks to making a stand and taking a leadership position. But I also think it's important to remember that Rosa was not the first. She was the best face for the movement, and hers was the story that moved the movement forward.
Okay, but there were others that had attempted taking a stand previously.
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, that same year, so 1955, there were 3 women that were arrested in Montgomery.
Wow.
The first was a high schooler.
Oh.
And, you know, Claudette Colvin. And I think it's important to think even today, who do we want to be the face of change? And I think today we still have that prejudice against, oh, is a high school face the right face? But Rosa Parks was, you know, she's often seen as that quiet seamstress. She was so much more. She was a trained leader. She was active in the movement. She was ready. She was prepared.
And this bus right here, people can come, and I know before COVID, they would even be able to go inside, and you said this was the seat?
Yep, that's the seat.
This one right here that Rosa Parks sat in and chose not to get up when she was asked.
You know, that's absolutely right. And I think that's, you know, it's funny, we often say take a stand. And what Rosa did was she took a seat and she stayed seated.
She took a stand by sitting.
By sitting. And I think it's an interesting kind of piece. But pre-COVID and eventually once the vaccines are well distributed, we will get people back on this bus. It's what Rosa wanted us to do.
This is just an incredible exhibit, and I know here throughout the Henry Ford Museum there are examples of African Americans, Black Americans contributing to the history here in Detroit and throughout the country throughout this incredible museum. This display is quite robust, so you can come on by. They're actually open today here at the Henry Ford. They open at 9 a.m. You can get in the doors. 9:30 the displays will open. Definitely worth taking a walk around. Incredible historians to educate you on things that you never realized you didn't know. Back to you, Sima.
Jen, and I can't wait for this pandemic to be over because I know a lot of folks, they would want to see that seat and sit in. You'll get chills. It's amazing. Thanks so much, Jen, for that live report.